Tell me why I don't like tokens. This I'll tell you why. The reason why I don't, sorry, the reason why I don't go on about tokens, I don't mind some of them. Here's the reason why, right? Because in 2017, especially when the altcoin boom was, most of the coins that were around then had just turned to shit. But that's not exactly why I don't like tokens. The reason why I don't like tokens compared to coins, which are mineable, is because when a coin loses its steam, as many of them do as well, you can tell that's happened because basically the network dies. You get to a stage where a 51% attack can happen very easily just by a few people basically collaborating together to take more than 51% of the overall hash power of the network, right? And there's plenty of websites you can go to find out what the actual the total hash power is of a blockchain in a blockchain. So in the Bitcoin network, it would be many peta. Probably I can't think it would be after it's peta and theta flops and all that sort of stuff. There's so many different measurements of when you get to large scale compute power, but it's going to be off the charts. Well, it's going to be chartable, but it's going to be a very large number compared to something like even things that I speak about quite a lot, like Cardano. But see, Cardano again and Digibyte, if they didn't have a community, and Zilliqa, if they didn't have a community, they wouldn't have a strong hash power. They wouldn't have the you would be able to see that the hash power is low and therefore the project's dead. The problem is with tokens, when they die, when there's no interest in it at all, they're still living because they're existing on another blockchain or Stratus or Ethereum or Neo or whatever it is that you're going to be putting them on. And this is why, another reason why I didn't like, well, I didn't mind the EOS net. The thought of the EOS network got me kind of all excited enough to buy the coin. And I bought Cardano at the same time. They're both platform coins, right? So one is mineable, one is not. This is why I kind of shied away from New Economy Movement, NEM, which is a Japanese one, I think, was because the fact that the coin that powers the network is an unmineable token, meaning they got it for free, they can create it for free. They basically, when you pre-mint something or you pre-mine something, that's something that I don't trust either. So you can actually have a proof of work where you actually set the difficulty rate low and mine all the coins right at the start. Some say that Satoshi pre-mined Bitcoin, but it's not actually true because it was released for anyone to mine. He just happened to be one of the first people mining a lot of it. And that's more, I think, for testing, but it doesn't matter. It's been sitting there untouched for years. Maybe it will get touched one day. I don't think it's going to affect things. If it does, it's just going to be a short-term release of more coin. Remembering that far more than what Satoshi mined has actually been lost and is irrecoverable, just from people losing their wallets, just from people losing their passkeys, that kind of thing. So yeah, the reason why I don't go for those is because you never really know when they're dead. So if you take a coin like BitConnect or something like that, Spain coin, Bunny coin, all these crappy coins that are either mineable or unmineable, the difference is you can tell when they die when they're mineable. You can't tell when they die when they're sitting on the Ethereum blockchain and the network's still going strong. So this is the dividing factor here is when you do have an unmineable token, it has to be intrinsically linked into the project. So it has to be something where you really are getting utility, or you really are getting a share of the company. It's written somewhere in not just the white paper, it's actually published that those tokens represent effectively a security. They're part of the company, like shares. If not, this is why I never liked the Ripple model so much, because there was always a disconnect between not just because it was unmineable, because it was never really built into a lot of the products to be a utility. It is to a degree now, I think, with a couple of them. But I didn't like the fact that it was used as a money printing exercise. And the other thing I didn't like about that particular project is the Ripple organization relied heavily on marketing. And I believe that good things don't need to be sold or marketed. I believe that you just need to put information about them and smart people will find them. The generations up and coming now are getting better and better at searching for things on the internet. I think once the boomer generation dies off, and maybe my generation dies off, you'll probably find that marketing and sales, well, I could be completely wrong here, but I really think there'll be less and less a place for marketing and sales, or if it is there, it will be something that's stealth and is not even known about. It happens in the background without anyone's knowledge. So when it comes to those sort of coins, I'm not gonna say don't buy any of these things. You know, Ripple, I use the example quite a lot. Of course, it can make you money. I still believe one day it's got an exit scam, because the people, when they first created it, I believe it could be a touch and go situation. They may create products, they may not create products. If they don't, they walk away with a shitload of money. Same as EOS, Dan Larimer. Everyone thought, oh yeah, he's great. Was it AntShares? I know that's a different one. BitShares. I can't remember. He was involved in that. I think it was BitShares project he was involved in before. Moved on to EOS. So everyone trusts these people implicitly, but they forget about the fact that once it comes to great amounts of money, some people just get to the stage they can't be bothered anymore, or they want massive amounts of money to do things that like the Elon Musk kind of projects of the world. You know, that's the reason why they want to have billions or trillions of dollars. And the people that are entering this space now will become the people at the top, like the Winklevoss twins. I seen a thing about them yesterday. They will become trillionaires, you know, and if you relate it back to US dollars, not when it comes to Bitcoin. Remember, people in Zimbabwe were trillionaires by having one single $1 trillion note. So we need to get away from thinking about numbers. When it comes to these projects, I'm not going to talk about them. So if you want to listen to DeFi stuff, for example, because I'm into some DeFi projects, but I don't really want to talk about anything that's non-mineable generally. So if you want to hear about that, probably Chico Crypto is the best channel to watch. CHICO Crypto. He's good, uncorruptible. If you want to listen to stuff like XRP, included in other news, the TMI, the Modern Investor, I think he's from Denmark. He will be your channel to watch. There's no point in me talking about these things because I'm not going to do as in-depth coverage as any of these guys. If you want to hear maybe a coin a week, tokens, in-depth deep dive about them, CM Dog, I think his name is, or CM Crypto, Scottish guy, a good one there. There's lots of good channels as far as news is concerned. And the other one is Crypto Daily as well. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. But that's the reason why I don't really advocate non-mineables so much. I'm not completely against them. It's just that I don't want to be the guy everyone's pointing at when they've lost money, because the only investment those people did was, in some cases, making a coin, making an ERC20 token, which is pretty bloody easy. And come up with a business idea, and everyone said, oh, that sounds like a good idea, and they've said they've got partnerships and all these things, and none of them have come true. I'm just cooking eggs right now. None of them have come true, right? And then 1 year later, nothing's going on, or a year and a half later, someone's remarketing the same project again. You know, that can happen. Why? Because you can't tell if it died, because it's sitting on the Ethereum network or some other platform. This is, I mentioned the EOS before. When the EOS came around, it was like everyone's getting excited, same as Cardano, because they were the first generation 3 blockchains, which could be fast enough to do things like online gaming and stuff like that, potentially, and virtual reality stuff. You know, who's to know if it ever really panned out or not with the EOS network, because I know that they launched quite a while ago, probably over a year ago now, but the simple fact is, it didn't have much uptake. The structure wasn't that good. I don't think it was well thought out as far as, if you're going to have it decentralized, how are people who own transaction nodes going to make money? And this is a problem that other blockchains have. I still think Bitcoin's the best place to be, and for anything that's outside of being a currency, It's you know, what do you call it? Ethereum can do the job, or if you want it faster, I'm pretty sure Cardano will take it out for the 3rd generation stuff. All right, I'm going to leave it there. See you later. Bye.